Yes. Molweni nonke, ndiyanibulisa nonke ezindaweni zonke nihleli niphulaphuleni kuzo. Yes, I am here. Molweni nonke bazeks ezindaweni zonke nihleli niphulaphuleni kuzo, nebukeleni kuzo. Gama lam nguJongs, as you all can see. Gama lam ndingujongile bazeks, ndiyanibulisa nonke endaweni zonke nihleli niphulaphuleni kuzo. As nesazi sihlangana kule ndawo, sihlangana in this favorite corner of ours. Welcome ke everybody, nonke ndiyanamkela abo bazawujoyina this live and those abazawujoyina later ku replay of this stream. Nonke namkelekile ngobuninzi benu. This is a place where you need to be. This is a place where you need to be, because here we share and we help one another, because ipurpose yethu yokuba khona kule ndawo ukuthi sonke sifikelele ekuyazini inyaniso yakhe, the one who called us. Ndiyanamkela ke bazeks, nonke namkelekile. As you know, besiqhubeka sifunda sijonga incwadini kaJohn chapter 11, and siyaqhubeka noJohn chapter 11. Ngaphandle ke kokumosha ixesha sizawuhamba siyofunda, but before siyofunda masikhumbuzane bazeks. So far sifundile about these two girls, these two ladies who were having this situation yokuluza their brother. They lost their one and only brother in this family. This was a family of two girls and a boy. Oh my God. This sounds like my family. 2 girls and a boy. So they lost their brother and they sent a message to Christ. So these are the things esizibonile nesizifundile kule chapter, ukuthi abafundi or the disciples of Christ had this access to him. It doesn't matter where he is. It doesn't matter the reason of him being where he was. Siyazi ukuthi where he was, he just left the Jewish leaders, the Jewish people who were determined to stone him. And he escaped their grasp and went to Perea. So while he was in Perea, he gets this message from the girls, and the girls, they were saying to him, the one you love, Lazarus, your friend, is sick. And they were expecting him to come and perform a healing miracle. They sent a message to him, expecting him to show up, expecting him to come back to Jerusalem, to come back to the outskirts of Jerusalem, which was Bethany. So siyazi ke the story bazeks. I'm just trying to remind you where we ended. Siyasazi ke the whole story ukuthi ekugcineni kwendaba yonke uYesu came around, and when he came around, Lazarus was 4 days in the tomb. And the girls continued to keep the faith, continued to believe in what he can do, because they knew his capabilities, they knew his abilities, they knew ukuthi whenever or whatever he asked of his father will do it. Remember, Martha, this is what she said. And this shows us exactly the relationship the girls had with Christ. The faith they had in Christ. Both of them, though they were suffering the loss of their brother, but we can see ukuthi they are still standing in their faith. We can see ukuthi they are still standing and holding on to it. They are not shaken, though the situation is painful, though the situation is unbearable. Imagine a son in the family is lost. A son of the family is gone. 2 girls are left behind. The devastation. They were so devastated with this situation, but they kept their faith in Christ. They are saying, if you were here, he would not have died. This is not just a complaint, man. This is a statement of faith. If you were here. And Martha, being Martha, she takes it a step further and says, I know even now you can ask your father anything. You can ask your father anything, and whatever you ask, he will do it. He will do it. Whatever you ask, he will do it. Usho kanje umfowabo is lying in the tomb for the 4th day. She still believes ukuthi Christ can perform a miracle. Christ can perform a miracle because there is nothing impossible with him. They know this because they are his disciples. They know this because they follow him. This is what they have studied as they were going along, being the members of Christ's church. They know him to be the capable Son of God. So Martha says, whatever you ask, God can give it that to you. So we have seen how the story went. How we have seen how the story panned out. At the end, uYesu performed this miracle. At the end, uYesu called out Lazarus from the tomb. And there were people who were watching this. There was a crowd there was a crowd which was observing this. And this crowd was divided. A man is brought back to life. You would expect people to celebrate this. But it was not everyone in that crowd that was celebrating. It was not everyone in that crowd that was celebrating. And we can clearly see ukuthi some of these people were not there to comfort this family. They were there to see what Christ can do. And when he has done what they were expecting to do, what did they do? They ran. They ran to the Jewish leaders. They ran to no one else but to the Jewish leaders. They ran to these guys and report this. Instead of celebrating and starting and beginning to believe and follow Christ. No. This miracle is a stumbling block to them. This miracle means nothing to them. They decide to go and report this as if this man has done some sort of a crime. People, This is how people are. This is how people are. They are running to the Jewish leaders to report this as if this man has committed a crime. As if Christ has unalived somebody. He hasn't unalived anybody. In fact, he gave somebody life. He gave a dead person his life back. All they think about is to go and report him as if he has taken somebody's life. People, they are tripping. You are tripping sometimes. We are tripping sometimes. We are good for nothing sometimes. There's nothing that is good within us sometimes. Instead of celebrating the miracle, instead of following and believing in Christ, they dig their heels. They stood on their unbelief, denying Christ, seeing these types of miracles. They still deny him. They still deny Christ. Seeing what he is doing, they still deny him. So you can see, we can see it's obvious. It's right in front of our very own eyes that you can try all you want, man, to convict people. You will never convict people. It is the job of God to do that. All we need to do is to just keep on sharing the good news. The convicting work, it's God's work, not ours. So if people can reject Christ working in their midst and still reject him, who are we? Who are we? Who are we? The good thing about the whole thing, the news that we're spreading, these news that we are spreading, they are not about us. We are just conduits. We are just channels that God is using. Convicting people, convincing people, and bringing back people to himself is his job. It's his job. It's his job. Don't try to crack yourself. Don't try to crack your head trying to convict people. Just plant the seed, which is the word of the Lord, and allow God to water it. Allow God to do his work, to do his job. So these guys, they were so stiff-necked. They were so stiff-necked in such a way that they denied Christ in their midst. So they decided to run to the Pharisees and report this man. And report him. So let's go read together 6 for let's think we're gonna read some few verses and then we call it a night. We're going to read few verses, but 6 are let's see. Let's see, we're going to start from verse 45. Let's see. Let's go read verse 6. Let's go read. Going to start from verse 45. So verse 45 ke ufundeka kanje. Therefore many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did believed in him. So there is this group that believed in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. Went to the Pharisees and began to witness about Christ, to witness about the deeds of Christ, to talk about the signs and wonders that Christ is performing. They think, no, we got him, but they are spreading the message. They are the carriers of the message of salvation. Oh my God. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. So when these guys got the message from the eyewitnesses, people abangayivanga ngondiva indaba bayibone ngamehlo. What a powerful testimony they carry. These are eyewitnesses. So when the chief priests and the Pharisees heard this, they called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. They called the council. They called the council, these guys, called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. So Sanhedrin was like a highest court, was a judicial body that was responsible for the affairs of the Jewish people in this place, in this region. So these guys have the authority that was given to them by the Romans. They were responsible for everything that was happening there. So they called a meeting. We cannot allow this to happen. Remember the last time they threatened to stone him. They threatened to stone him because they disagreed with him. The conversation that they had with him was offensive to them. They strongly disagreed with it. And their disagreement caused them to be bitter within. They could not stand him. They could not stand his presence. So they picked up stones. That's chapter number 10. They picked up stones, intending to stone him. And he managed to get away from them. He managed to get away from them. So the meeting was called. The meeting was called to discuss this man, to deal with this man. to check this man. We cannot let him go like this. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. What are we accomplishing? They asked. Here is this man performing many signs. Verse 48. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him. And then the Romans will come and take away both our temple and our nation. They say if we let him continue like this, he will gain much influence. He will gain a lot of influence. And he will cause people to riot or revolt. They were scared of this. They were so scared of this. If this happens, would only mean they are failing in their duty. They are failing in their duty. So kwabizwa kumhlangano. Mhlangano wezikhulu, the Sanhedrin, a judicial body, consisted of about 71 men. The high priests were there. The scribes were there. The Pharisees were there. The Sadducees were there. And the Sanhedrin. So the high priests were from the sect called the Sadducees. So the meeting is sitting to discuss the influence of Christ. Yeah, man. Verse 49, then one of them named Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, spoke up. You know nothing at all. You do not realize that it is better for you that one man may die for the people than the whole nation perish. Caiaphas, the high priest. Caiaphas, utanazinto anazi aniboni kwanto. You don't realize. It's okay. It's better for one man to die. That's Caiaphas, the high priest. Caiaphas, the high priest. Who was this man? Who was Caiaphas? Who was Caiaphas? Caiaphas was this guy who was a high priest by that time. His name was Joseph. So Caiaphas was his surname, but Caiaphas wagcina sekabizwa ngalo le surname yakhe as if ligama lakhe uCaiaphas. So he was a high priest by that time. So iBhayibheli ithi who was high priest that year. That doesn't mean ukuthi high priests were rotating yearly. Doesn't mean that. Ayithethi ukuthi abapriesti bebe rotator unyaka nonyaka. This points out to something. Xa ithi who was a high priest that year. So Caiaphas was a high priest for about 18 years. And imbali iti, he was the longest serving high priest. So siyazi according to the Old Testament ukuthi a high priest ebeba ngumpriest lo muntu lowo until aze adlule. U-high priest ebeba ngumpriest impilo yakhe yonke. So nayithi that year, it means it was no longer like that. It was no longer like that anymore. Izinto zazijikile this time around. So a high priest this time around, it be business. Yeah, these Roman powers, if I may say that. The Romans would decide who is going to be the next high priest. Because they didn't want anybody being in that office for too long. Because they suspected or they expected once a guy stays there for a long time, he will gain the popularity, he will gain the fame, and manage to influence masses and may cause people to revolt. That's what they didn't want happening. That is why now the Romans were responsible as to who should take the office of the high priest. So they were selling this office, selling it to the highest bidder. A guy who convinces them to be their man. A guy who convinces them that he will stand by what is expected of him by these guys, the Romans. So Caiaphas was that type of a man. He managed to get that office because he impressed the Roman authorities. So that office came with a lot of benefits. Lots and lots of benefits. Being secured, being safe, untouchable. Because you are sitting in a powerful office. So Caiaphas was not going to watch Christ doing all this. Because he says, if we allow him to continue, you don't realize that it is better for you that one man die for the people than the whole nation perish. So can you see what this man is saying? Can you see what he's saying? Verse number 51. He did not say this on his own, but as a high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation. There is something else John is saying. No, this man didn't speak on his own. He didn't speak on his own. He was prophesying. He was prophesying that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation. He's prophesying and he is not aware, unconsciously prophesying. He says it's better for one man to die rather than the nation perish. And John Uti, this man was prophesying. He was not speaking on his own. And not only for that nation, but also for the scattered children of God. That is us. Not only for the nation, not only for the Israelites, not only for the Jewish people, also for us, the scattered children of God, to bring them together and make them one. Bring them together and make them what? And make them what? And make them one. And make them one. Do you remember previous chapter number 10? Somewhere Jesus says, his people, his sheep, hear him, hear his voice. And he says, not only the ones in this sheepfold, not only the ones in this sheepfold, and others, the Gentiles, will come and be one flock, and be one flock with one shepherd. This theme iyaqhubeka siyayibona even on chapter number 11. Ukuthi insindiso was not just for the Jewish people only, it was for the rest of the world, those who come believing to Christ, those who come in faith, those who come in faith. Yes. Those who come in faith. Yes, this is good news. This is good news. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good time here. It's been a good time we were just having here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Until we meet next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to do this. We will continue to push this work. We will continue to share the gospel with the world. We'll continue to talk about the call that Jesus is making to the rest of the world, because the gospel is made available to each and every believing soul. Until we meet next time, me and you, take good care of yourselves. Bye now, lovely people. Bye. Love you, and there's nothing you can do about that. Bye now.